Russia and China hold high-level talks on missile defense. From Algeria, Prime Minister chairs emergency online meeting on flood response in central Vietnam. From wild weed to export good, water hyacinth finds new value.
Hello, so good to see you again in today's news by Nghệ Press and Broadcasting Agency. I'm Hoàng Yên, and here we go, the first headline of the show. Russia's foreign ministry says officials from Russia and China just held high-level talks in Moscow this week on missile defense and strategic stability, agreeing to deepen cooperation in both areas.
According to Sputnik and China Daily, the Russian Foreign Ministry's statement on November 20th said the discussions included a joint assessment of destabilizing factors that pose strategic risks to global and regional security, as well as an exchange of views on measures to mitigate those risks. Russian Defense Minister Andrei Belousov met with General Zhang Yuxia, vice chairman of China's Central Military Commission, as the Chinese delegation visited Moscow. Minister Belousov noted that the close relationship between the two countries' leaders has strengthened Russia-China cooperation, leading to a sharp increase in joint military exercises on land, at sea, and in the air, as the two sides implement high-level agreements. The talks come as both Moscow and Beijing express concern over U.S. President Donald Trump's plans to build a Golden Dome missile defense shield, and his recent remarks about resuming nuclear weapons testing after more than 3 decades.
More than 30 countries have signed a letter rejecting a draft document proposed by host nation Brazil at the 30th UN Climate Change Conference, COP30, taking place in Belém City. The group says that the draft fails to include any roadmap for phasing out fossil fuels.
We can make real progress.
COP30 President, Brazilian diplomat André Correia do Lago, is under pressure from nearly 200 participating nations to deliver a text capable of winning broad consensus. However, the latest draft, obtained by Western media, makes no mention of fossil fuels, despite host President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva repeatedly emphasizing this priority from the outset of the summit. In their letter of objection, the countries, spanning Europe, Latin America, Asia, and multiple Pacific Island states, say they cannot accept any COP outcome that lacks a credible plan for a fair and orderly energy transition. They argue the current draft fails to meet the standards of a trustworthy conference result. Although COP28 in 2023 reached a historic agreement to transition away from fossil fuels, progress on implementing that pledge has so far been described as largely stalled.
On the evening of November 20th, Hanoi time, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính just chaired an emergency online meeting from Algeria with leaders of ministries, agencies, and localities to address the severe flooding and natural disaster affecting several central provinces.
During the meeting, the Prime Minister expressed sympathy with local authorities and communities hit hard by the disaster, and offered condolences to families of those killed, missing, or injured. Responding to requests from the provinces, he ordered the Ministry of Finance to immediately release rice reserves and the Ministry of Health to dispatch medical supplies and chemicals. As much as needed, delivered without delay. The military and police were instructed to mobilize forces and vehicles for transport and rescue operations. The Ministry of Finance was also directed to urgently allocate 200 billion VND each to Lam Dong and Khan Hoa, an additional 150 billion VND to Jack Lak, on top of the 230 billion already provided, and another 150 billion VND to Gia Lai, after 330 billion previously supported. All procedures must be completed overnight on November 20th and finalized before 8 a.m. on November 21st. Prime Minister reiterated that the top priority is minimizing loss of life, directing all efforts toward saving people and reaching isolated areas as quickly as possible. He called on all forces to act within their authority and uphold the spirit of solidarity, serving the people, and the principle, wherever people need help, We must be there.
Upcoming are some updated news.
This morning, the 16th Congress of the Nghệ An Province Vietnam Fatherland Front Committee for the 2025-2030 term officially opened in a solemn ceremony at the Provincial Labor Culture House. During this term, the Congress has set 15 specific targets and 6 action programs outlining key goals, priorities, and major solutions aimed at contributing to the continued development of Nghệ An, making the province more prosperous and modern. Provincial Party Secretary Nguyen Kach Than directed the Provincial Fatherland Front to further promote its role as the political core and nucleus of great national unity, inspiring the potential, wisdom, and creativity of the people to successfully achieve the province's socio-economic development objectives. At the Congress, 119 members of the 16th Vietnam Fatherland Front Committee of Nghệ An for the 2025-2030 term were introduced and presented to the Assembly.
As of now, preparations for the 33rd SEA Games among Vietnam's national teams are nearly complete. According to the current plan, the Vietnamese delegation will travel to Thailand on December 7th, 2 days before the opening ceremony, with the goal of securing 100 gold medals at the Games. With thorough preparation, strong determination, and a lineup of top-tier athletes at the peak of their form, the delegation has set the 100 gold medal target while emphasizing that no undue pressure will be placed on the athletes. Instead, all efforts are being made to ensure they compete in the best possible condition, ready to deliver strong performances and reaffirm Vietnam's standing at this year's SEA Games.
Vietnam Airlines has announced the launch of its first ever direct route between Vietnam and Denmark, beginning December 15th, enhancing tourism connectivity between Vietnam and Europe. The route will operate 3 flights per week using the Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner, offering passengers a comfortable long-haul experience. According to the schedule, flights from Ho Chi Minh City to Copenhagen will depart at 22:45 on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. The return flights from Copenhagen to Ho Chi Minh City will depart at 10:50 on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. The new route is considered a strategic step in Vietnam Airlines' plan to expand its European network, while also providing a boost for Vietnam's tourism growth in the Nordic market.
From the familiar clusters of water hyacinth found in ponds and lakes, residents of the mountainous Yên Na Camille in Nghệ An province have transformed them into refined, handcrafted products for export. This new livelihood model is opening a sustainable development path, helping local households increase their income and work forward long-term poverty reduction. More in this story today.
Water hyacinth, once used mainly as livestock feed, is now being transformed by residents of Yên Na commune into baskets, trays, and decorative items that are gaining popularity in overseas markets for their eco-friendliness and aesthetic appeal. The weaving doesn't require much physical strength, making it suitable for both young and elderly workers. Villagers can work flexibly during the off-season, and the craft has already created jobs for over 40 people, earning around 150,000 Vietnam dong per day. The work is stable. A company came to teach us the craft, and now that we have a steady income, people here are very happy. According to artisans and businesses, the raw water hyacinth is processed, dried, and prepared with sample frames. Villagers simply weave according to the specifications and are paid per finished item. The company purchases all products. There's no production quota. Workers earn as much as they can make. Currently, the enterprise buys more than 800 products each month.
The villagers' weaving skills are excellent. They pick up the techniques very quickly. We will purchase all the products they make. The more, the better.
From the once overlooked water, hyacinth growing in ponds and lakes, the people of Yen Na have now built a sustainable livelihood and opened a new avenue for economic development. As the craft of weaving water, hyacinth spreads to more villages, the hope of eradicating poverty and improving living standards for local highland communities is steadily becoming a reality.
The last story to end it our news today. Thank you so much for your attention. Goodbye for now.